Admiral James Walker stood at the center of the Earth diplomatic chamber, his back straight and his face showing no emotion. The massive view screen before him displayed the stern faces of the Galactic Imperial Council. These were the most powerful beings in known space, rulers of 2,000 star systems, and James was about to tell them they were not welcome at Earth. "Honored council members," James began, his voice steady. "On behalf of Earth's unified government, I bring you a message of great importance." The Imperial representatives looked bored. Earth was, after all, just a small blue planet at the edge of the Empire. For 300 years, humans had been quiet members of the galactic community, providing resources and soldiers, but never power or influence. "The Sol system is now off-limits to all Imperial vessels," James declared. "This is not a request. It is a statement of fact. Any Imperial ship entering our system will be turned away. Those who refuse to leave will face consequences." For 3 seconds, there was complete silence. Then laughter erupted from the council members. "Is this some form of human humor?" asked Grand Counselor Vex, his 4 eyes blinking in amusement. "Your planet cannot even build proper jump drives without our help." James did not smile. "This is no joke, Counselor. Earth has changed. We ask only for privacy and respect for our borders." Emperor Dorn, silent until now, leaned forward in his massive throne. His scaled skin reflected the light as he studied James with yellow eyes. "You realize," the Emperor said slowly, "that such words could be seen as rebellion." "We seek no conflict," James replied. "We simply wish to be left alone." The transmission ended abruptly. James let out a long breath as the screen went dark. Around him, Earth's leaders sat in tense silence. "Well," said President Garcia, "that went exactly as expected." James nodded. "They think we're bluffing." "They'll send ships to test us," said General Park, checking data on her tablet. "Probably within 48 hours. Are we ready?" the President asked. From the corner of the room, Director Anna Reed stood up. She was not a tall woman, but something in her eyes made everyone pay attention when she spoke. "We're ready," Anna said quietly. "Defense System Prometheus is fully operational. The outer warning beacons are in place around Pluto's orbit. If they come, they'll get their warning. If they ignore it..." She didn't finish the sentence. Emperor Dorn paced angrily in his private chamber. The walls, made from the bones of extinct creatures from 100 worlds, seemed to close in around him. "Ridiculous," he growled to Admiral Krell, his most trusted military advisor. 300 years of obedience, and suddenly Earth thinks it can simply opt out of the Empire. Admiral Krell, a veteran of countless wars against rebellious worlds, shook his head. "Something is wrong, Your Majesty. Earth has never shown signs of advanced military technology. Their ships use our outdated engines. Their weapons are basic. This sudden confidence makes no sense. Unless they found something," the Emperor said. "Something that makes them think they can stand against us." Krell nodded slowly. "There have always been rumors about Earth. Old legends say it was special, somehow." The Emperor walked to his command console and pressed a button. "Prepare a scout fleet. Send Commander Talus. He is to approach Earth, gather information, and report back. If the humans try to stop him, he should retreat rather than fight. And if they actually attack..." The Emperor's eyes narrowed. "Then we will show them what happens when a world defies the Empire." On Earth, Anna Reed looked up at the stars through the window of her office. Somewhere up there, Imperial ships would soon be coming. She touched the strange metal pendant hanging around her neck, a relic of what they had found, the discovery that had changed everything. "I hope we're doing the right thing," she whispered to herself. The stars gave no answer. 5 days after Earth's declaration, Commander Talus stood on the bridge of the Imperial scout vessel Relentless Asterisk. His fleet of 7 ships had just crossed the outer boundary of the Sol system. Pluto's small form appeared as a tiny dot on their scanners. Any sign of these supposed defenses? Talas asked his sensor officer. Nothing yet, Commander. Wait. The officer paused. Strange energy readings ahead. Some kind of beacons forming a perimeter around the system. Talas smiled. The humans had placed warning buoys. How quaint. Ignore them, he ordered. Continue course to Earth. As they passed the beacons, all ships received the same message on their communication systems. Attention Imperial vessels. You are entering restricted space. Turn back immediately. Talas laughed. Send our response. We travel under the authority of Emperor Dorn. Move aside or be destroyed. The fleet continued forward, accelerating toward Neptune. The massive blue planet loomed ahead, its swirling storms visible even from a distance. Commander, the communications officer called out. We're being hailed by an Earth vessel. On screen, Talas ordered, straightening his uniform. A human appeared on the view screen. He wore a simple gray uniform with minimal markings. Imperial vessels, this is Captain Miller of Earth Defense. You have entered restricted space. This is your final warning. Reverse course immediately. Talas stepped forward. Captain Miller, this posturing is pointless. Earth is part of the Empire. We go where we please. Miller's face showed no emotion. We warned your leaders. Now I warn you personally. Leave or face the consequences. And what consequences could Earth possibly? Miller cut the transmission. Arrogant human. Talas muttered. Continue course. Full speed. The tactical officer suddenly called out. Commander. Energy spike from Neptune's orbit. What kind of energy spike? Talas demanded. Before anyone could answer, a pulse of blue light spread out from Neptune's position. It moved faster than any weapon Talas had ever seen, washing over his ships in seconds. Then, silence. Status report. Talas shouted. Sir, all systems are failing. Engines, weapons, life support. Everything is shutting down. Talas watched in horror as 3 of his 7 ships went completely dark, drifting helplessly in space. His own vessel flickered as secondary systems fought to stay online. What did they hit us with? He whispered. Unknown, sir. It's like our power cores were turned off somehow. On one of the still functioning ships, Captain Vren made a quick decision. All remaining vessels, emergency jump out of the system. Now. But the disabled ships, his second officer protested. We'll be lost if we all get disabled. Jump now. The 4 functioning Imperial ships activated their emergency jump drives, vanishing into hyperspace just as his second blue wave approached. In Earth's Defense Command Center, Captain Miller stood beside Director Anna Reed as they watched the Imperial ships retreat. They'll be back, Miller said quietly. And next time, they'll come with a battle fleet. Anna nodded, but now they know we weren't bluffing. The Prometheus system worked perfectly, said Dr. Lee, the chief scientist. He pointed to the screen showing the 3 disabled Imperial ships. Power neutralization was complete but non-destructive, exactly as designed. What about the crews? Anna asked. Life support emergency backups will give them about 3 days, Dr. Lee replied. Do we retrieve them? Anna thought for a moment. Yes, prepare rescue ships. We're not monsters. We'll return their crews to the Empire's nearest outpost. Miller looked skeptical. That's risky. It sends the right message, Anna insisted. We're not aggressive. We just want to be left alone. Emperor Dorn's throne room went completely silent as Commander Vren finished his report. Impossible, someone finally whispered. The Emperor's face was stone. Did your sensors record this weapon? Yes, Your Majesty. But our scientists can't explain how it works. It's like nothing we've ever seen. Admiral Krell stepped forward. Your Majesty, this changes everything. If Earth can disable our ships so easily, it changes nothing. Dorn roared, standing suddenly. One backwater planet does not defy the Empire and live to tell of it. He pointed to Krell. Prepare the 3rd battle group. Earth will learn that their new toy is no match for Imperial might. As the council members filed out, Dorn remained alone with his thoughts. What had the humans found? And more importantly, could the Empire take it for themselves? The Imperial War Council gathered in the Grand Strategy Chamber aboard the Emperor's flagship, Eternal Dominance *. Holographic maps of the Sol system floated in the center of the room, with Earth highlighted in red. Emperor Dorn paced around the display, his clawed hands clasped behind his back. 3 ships lost. 4 retreated. This is unacceptable. Admiral Krell pointed to the area near Neptune. The weapon originated here, Your Majesty. Some kind of energy pulse that disabled our systems completely. And we have no defense against it, asked General Vex. Not yet, replied Chief Scientist Moda. She was small compared to the military officers, but her mind was respected throughout the Empire. The technology is unlike anything in our database. It seems to target power systems directly, shutting them down without physical damage. Dorn slammed his fist on the table. I want answers. How did Earth develop such technology in secret? Intelligence Director Rawl stepped forward, activating a new hologram showing a timeline. They didn't, Your Majesty. Our analysis shows a strange pattern. For centuries, human technological progress followed a predictable curve. Then, 18 months ago, something changed. The timeline showed a sudden spike. What happened 18 months ago? Krell asked. Unknown, said Rawl. But Earth began recalling its citizens from across the galaxy. They reduced exports by 60%, and they started buying unusual materials in large quantities. Emperor Dorn's eyes narrowed. They found something. That's our theory, Rawl agreed. Something that gave them this technology. The Emperor turned to Admiral Krell. Prepare the 3rd battle group. You will take command personally. Make an example of Earth. Yes, Your Majesty. On Earth, the Diplomatic Council met in an underground chamber beneath the old United Nations building in New York. Representatives from all Earth nations sat around a circular table, with Director Anna Reed at the center. The Imperial rescue ships have collected their stranded crews, Anna reported. But our scouts report massive fleet movements near the Empire's Proxima Centauri outpost. President Garcia looked grim. They're preparing a real attack. We should hit them first, General Park suggested. The Prometheus system could disable their fleet before they even reach us. Anna shook her head. Prometheus has limited range. They'll send too many ships this time, from multiple directions. What about negotiation? Asked Ambassador Wong. Perhaps if we explained. Explained what? General Park interrupted. That we found technology that could overthrow their entire empire. They'd never let us keep it. Anna stood up. Ambassador Wong is right. We should try one more diplomatic approach. Explain that we mean no harm, that we only want independence. Without revealing what we found, President Garcia added. Of course, Anna agreed. But we need to make them understand we're not a threat to their rule elsewhere. The next day, Ambassador Wong's message played before the Imperial Council. Honored Emperor, Wong began, bowing deeply. Earth seeks no conflict with the Galactic Empire. We have discovered something within our system that requires our protection and careful study. We ask only for the sovereignty of Sol system space. We will maintain trade relations and peaceful exchanges of knowledge. Emperor Dorn watched impassively. Wong continued, what we have found is dangerous in the wrong hands. We feel a duty to protect it, for the safety of all galactic citizens, including those of the Empire. When the message ended, Admiral Krell turned to the Emperor. They're hiding something powerful, something that could threaten us. Obviously, Dorn replied, and they expect us to simply let them keep it. Their technology did defeat our scout fleet, Moda reminded him. Dorn's eyes flashed with anger. A lucky surprise. Nothing more. He turned to Krell. Your battle group departs in 2 days. Show them what happens when they try to keep secrets from the Empire. As the council dispersed, Intelligence Director Rawl approached the Emperor privately. "There are old legends, Your Majesty, about Earth, about why it was quarantined for so long before we found it." "Legends?" Dorn scoffed. "We have no time for ancient stories." "Perhaps," Rawl said quietly. "But what if they found artifacts from the precursors?" The Emperor froze. Even he knew that name. The mysterious civilization that had vanished long before the Empire began. "Impossible," he whispered. But his eyes showed doubt for the first time. Admiral Krell stood on the bridge of the Imperial flagship Dominion *, watching as his fleet exited hyperspace near Neptune. 60 warships, the pride of the Empire's third battle group, formed up in attack formation. "Any sign of Earth defenses?" Krell asked. "Nothing yet, Admiral," his second-in-command reported. "Just the usual orbital platforms around Neptune." Krell frowned. After what happened to the scout fleet, he had expected more. Maintain distance. Send in the drone ships first. 5 unmanned vessels moved ahead of the main fleet, sensors sweeping for threats. As they approached Neptune's orbit, a small Earth fleet appeared from behind the planet's moons. "Earth vessels detected," announced the tactical officer. "Only 20 ships, Admiral." Krell studied the enemy formation. The human ships were smaller than Imperial destroyers, but moved with surprising speed and precision. "They're outnumbered 3-1, Krell said. "Prepare main batteries. Target their flagship." Suddenly, one of the drone ships exploded. "What happened?" Krell demanded. "Unknown, sir. No weapon signature detected." A second drone ship veered off course, its engines failing. The remaining 3 accelerated toward the Earth fleet, weapons ready. Through the view screen, Krell watched as the Earth ships released small objects, hundreds of them, spreading out like a cloud. "Mines?" asked his second-in-command. Before Krell could respond, the objects activated, creating a web of blue energy that caught the remaining drones. The unmanned ships froze in space, powerless. "It's happening again," Krell realized. "All ships, maintain distance from those energy fields." "Admiral," called his communications officer. "We're being hailed." A human face appeared on the main screen, a woman with short gray hair and determined eyes. "Imperial Fleet, this is Commander Jane Foster of Earth Defense. Withdraw immediately. We have no desire for conflict." Krell stepped forward. "This is Admiral Krell of the Imperial Third Battle Group. Your planet has acquired restricted technology and defied Imperial law. Surrender now or face the consequences." Foster's expression didn't change. "We cannot do that, Admiral." The transmission ended. "All ships, advance," Krell ordered. "Launch fighters. Target their energy web projectors." The Imperial fleet surged forward. Fighters screamed toward the Earth defenses while larger ships opened fire from a distance. The Earth fleet responded with startling coordination. Instead of retreating, they split into smaller groups, darting between Imperial formations. Each human ship released more of the strange devices, expanding the energy web. "They're trying to trap us," Krell realized. 9th Division, break left. 7th Division, prepare long-range torpedoes." The battle spread across Neptune's orbit. Imperial ships fired massive energy weapons that could shatter planets, yet the smaller Earth vessels moved too quickly to hit. Meanwhile, the blue energy web grew, disabling any Imperial ship that ventured too close. On the bridge of her ship Defender Commander Foster watched the battle unfold. "The Firefly drones are working," her tactical officer reported. 17 Imperial ships disabled so far. "And our losses?" Foster asked. 3 ships damaged, 1 destroyed. Foster nodded grimly. "Deploy the blackout missiles." From behind Neptune's largest moon emerged a new type of Earth vessel, sleek, black, and unlike any other ship in their fleet. It launched a dozen missiles toward the heart of the Imperial formation. On the Dominion *, alarms blared. "Unknown projectiles incoming." shouted the tactical officer. "Intercept them," Krell ordered. Imperial point defense systems fired, destroying 8 of the missiles. But 4 reached their targets, exploding in bursts of the same blue energy. Instantly, 4 Imperial cruisers went dark. Krell watched in growing horror as his carefully planned attack fell apart. The humans were using their strange technology not just defensively, but as weapons. "Sir," his second-in-command said quietly, "we've lost 23 ships. The energy fields are expanding. We need to regroup." Krell's fists clenched. Retreat was unthinkable. The Emperor would have him executed. Then he saw an opportunity, a gap in the Earth formation. "All remaining ships," he commanded, "focus fire on Sector 7. Break through their line. We need to capture one of their vessels, intact." The Imperial fleet concentrated its firepower, finally destroying 2 Earth ships. In the chaos, 3 Imperial destroyers slipped through, racing toward Earth. As Foster ordered her fleet to pursue, Krell smiled grimly. Even if this battle was lost, those ships might gather the intelligence the Empire needed. And Krell had another plan. Throughout the battle, specialized sensor ships had been recording everything about Earth's technology. "Prepare for emergency jump," he ordered. "We have what we came for." The underground chamber beneath Mount Rushmore fell silent as Director Anna Reed entered. Earth's highest military and scientific leaders sat around a circular table, their faces illuminated by the soft blue light coming from the center, a floating hologram of the solar system. "The Battle of Neptune is over," Anna announced. "Commander Foster reports 37 Imperial ships disabled. The rest retreated." President Garcia nodded. "And our losses?" 8 ships damaged, 3 destroyed. Anna's voice softened. 42 crew members lost. The room observed a moment of silence for the fallen. Dr. Lee, head of Project Prometheus, spoke first. "The Imperial ships that broke through our lines. 2 were destroyed near Mars," Anna replied. "1 reached Earth orbit before our secondary defenses disabled it. We've captured the crew." General Park leaned forward. "This won't be the end. The Emperor will send everything he has next time." "Which brings us to our decision," President Garcia said. "Do we continue hiding what we found, or do we reveal the truth?" Anna touched a small device on her wrist. The hologram changed, showing an ancient structure buried beneath the Antarctic ice. 547 days ago, she began. A research team discovered this. The hologram zoomed in, revealing a doorway covered in unknown symbols. "At first we thought it was just ruins," Anna continued. "Then we found similar structures on Mars, Titan, and even Pluto, all connected by technology we couldn't understand." Dr. Lee stood up and touched the hologram. It changed to show strange artifacts. Metallic devices with flowing patterns that seemed to move when no one was looking directly at them. "We call them precursor artifacts," he explained. "They predate human civilization by millions of years. They even predate the Empire." "What do they do?" asked Ambassador Wong. Dr. Lee smiled sadly. "Almost everything. The Prometheus defense system, reverse-engineered from a single precursor power module. Their technology doesn't generate energy, it manipulates it directly. It can disable other technology without destroying it." The hologram changed again, showing a map of strange energy lines connecting all planets in the solar system. "The precursors built something here," Anna said. "A network, a system. We've only begun to understand it. But what we do know is that it's incredibly powerful and dangerous." General Park frowned. "Why not tell the Empire this from the beginning?" Anna exchanged glances with Dr. Lee. "May I show them?" He nodded reluctantly. Anna touched her wrist device again. The hologram displayed a recording from inside the Antarctic structure. Scientists worked around a central pedestal, holding a small pyramid-shaped object. "This is from our first major breakthrough," Anna explained. "Watch what happened when we activated just one component." In the recording, the pyramid glowed. Energy patterns spread across the walls. Then, unexpectedly, a section of space beside the pedestal darkened and opened. "What is that?" Ambassador Wong whispered. "A doorway," Dr. Lee replied. "To somewhere else. We don't know where." He paused. "Or when." The recording showed the doorway growing unstable, energy crackling around it. Scientists ran as instruments exploded. Finally, someone managed to deactivate the pyramid, and the doorway closed. 3 people died in that incident, Anna said quietly. And that was just one small component used incorrectly. President Garcia understood immediately. If the Empire got hold of this technology, they would use it as a weapon, General Park finished, without understanding it. Exactly, Anna nodded. The precursor network connects our entire solar system. Used properly, it could provide unlimited energy, instant travel, maybe even more. Used wrongly, it could destroy everything, Dr. Lee concluded. Ambassador Wong looked troubled. "So we can't tell them the full truth, but perhaps a partial truth, enough to make them understand why we need to be left alone." The room fell silent again as everyone considered the options. Finally, Anna spoke. "We tell them this. Earth has discovered precursor technology that we don't fully understand. We're studying it carefully to ensure it's safe. Until then, the Sol system must remain isolated for everyone's protection, including theirs." President Garcia nodded slowly. "And if they don't believe us?" Anna's expression hardened. "Then we show them just enough to make them believe." Emperor Dorn stood before the massive view screen, watching as his fleet, the largest assembled in 50 years, prepared to jump to the Sol system. 1,000 warships, the combined might of 3 Imperial battle groups. "Your Majesty," Admiral Krell began, "the fleet is ready." Dorn nodded. His scaled face showed no emotion, but inside, anger burned like a dying star. 2 defeats. Earth had humiliated him twice. "No more games," he said. "No more scouts or single battle groups. This ends today." Intelligence Director Rawl approached cautiously. "Your Majesty, the data we collected at Neptune gives us some insight into their technology. The energy fields appear to be projection-based. If we strike quickly from multiple angles—" "I don't need tactics," Dorn interrupted. "I need victory." He turned to the assembled commanders. "I will lead this fleet personally. Earth will surrender its secrets or burn." On Earth, alarm systems blared as sensors detected massive hyperspace distortions approaching the solar system. In the Defense Command Center, Director Anna Reed watched as the display filled with red dots, Imperial ships emerging at every point around the solar system. "They're coming from all directions," Commander Foster reported. "Hundreds of ships. They've learned from last time." Anna's face remained calm, though her eyes betrayed her worry. "Activate all defense systems. Deploy the fleet in defensive formation Omega." President Garcia entered the command center, followed by Dr. Lee. "Is it time?" the president asked quietly. Anna nodded. "They've left us no choice." Dr. Lee opened a secure case, removing a small device with a single button. "The Guardian system is ready. But once activated—" He didn't finish the sentence. "I understand," Anna said, taking the device. "Let's hope it doesn't come to that." The battle began at the edges of the solar system. Imperial ships targeted Earth's defense platforms first, destroying several before the blue energy fields could activate. But as they pushed deeper into the system, Earth's defenders responded with new weapons. From Jupiter's moons launched missiles that split into thousands of tiny drones, each drone attached to an Imperial ship, draining its power. From Mars' orbit, massive cannons fired pulses that disrupted Imperial targeting systems. On the bridge of the Imperial flagship *Conqueror*, Emperor Dorn watched with growing frustration. "They're everywhere," growled Admiral Krell. "Their technology. It's like they can predict our movements." "Push forward," Dorn commanded. "Full attack on Earth itself." 100 ships broke through the outer defenses, racing toward the blue planet. Earth's fleet moved to intercept, but they were outnumbered. In the Defense Command Center, Commander Foster reported grimly, "Our outer defenses are failing. 53 Imperial ships approaching Earth orbit." Anna nodded, her finger hovering over the device Dr. Lee had given her. "One last chance," she whispered. She opened a communication channel. "Connect me to the Imperial flagship." Emperor Dorn's face appeared on the main screen. His yellow eyes narrowed at the sight of Anna. "I am Director Anna Reed of Earth Defense. Emperor Dorn, this conflict is unnecessary. We ask only to be left in peace." Dorn laughed. "Peace? After you defy the Empire? After you hide technology that belongs to all?" "The technology we found is dangerous," Anna insisted. "We're protecting everyone, including your people. Humans do not decide what is best for the Empire," Dorn snarled. "Surrender now or watch your world burn." The transmission ended. Anna looked at President Garcia, who nodded once. "Do it," he said quietly. Anna pressed the button. Deep beneath Antarctica, the central precursor chamber came to life. Energy coursed through ancient pathways that connected to similar chambers on every planet and moon in the system. The pyramid at the center began to glow, brighter and brighter. In space, a strange ripple spread outward from Earth. Not the blue energy field of previous battles, but something different. Where it passed, space itself seemed to change. On the Conqueror alarms blared. "What is happening?" Dorn demanded. "Unknown energy pattern," reported a science officer. "It's everywhere at once." The ripple reached the approaching Imperial ships. Some simply stopped, frozen in space. Others found themselves suddenly light years away. A few, the closest to Earth, vanished completely. Around the entire solar system, a shimmering barrier formed, transparent but impenetrable. "The Guardian is active," Dr. Lee announced in the command center. "The Sol system is now completely isolated." Anna watched as Imperial ships tried to breach the barrier, their weapons having no effect. "What happens to the Imperial ships trapped inside?" President Garcia asked. "They can't leave," Dr. Lee replied. "Not unless we allow it." Anna opened another communication channel. "Emperor Dorn, the barrier you see is called the Guardian. It's part of the precursor technology we discovered. Your weapons cannot penetrate it. Your ships cannot escape it without our help." On his ship, Dorn stared at the barrier in shock. For the first time in his long life, he felt true fear. "What have you done?" he whispered. The Imperial flagship Conqueror drifted near Earth's orbit, surrounded by 52 other trapped Imperial vessels. Beyond the shimmering barrier that now encased the entire solar system, hundreds more Imperial ships hung motionless, unable to assist their emperor. In the Grand Meeting Hall of the United Nations building in New York, Emperor Dorn sat across from Director Anna Reed and President Garcia. The once mighty ruler looked diminished, his scaled skin dull with stress. 3 days, Dorn said quietly. 3 days we've tried to breach your barrier. Nothing works. The Guardian cannot be broken, Anna replied. It was designed by the precursors to protect this system. Why? Dorn asked, genuine curiosity breaking through his anger. What makes this system so special? Anna exchanged glances with President Garcia, who nodded slightly. We'll show you, she said. Hours later, Emperor Dorn stood in the ancient chamber beneath Antarctica, staring at the pyramid device with wide eyes. This is just one node, Dr. Lee explained. There are similar installations on every major body in our system. Together, they form a network. A network that does what? Asked Admiral Krell, who had accompanied his emperor. Dr. Lee activated a sequence on his tablet. The pyramid glowed, and symbols appeared in the air above it, a 3-dimensional map of stars and pathways. We believe it's a map of doorways, Anna said. Connections between star systems that don't require conventional travel. The precursors built this network millions of years ago, before your empire, before humanity. Dorn reached toward the glowing symbols, his hand passing through them. If this technology works as you say, it would change everything. Instant travel between stars. No need for hyperspace drives or jump gates. Yes, Anna nodded. And weapons that could destroy entire star systems if misused. That's why we kept it secret. That's why we asked to be left alone. Dorn looked at her, understanding dawning in his ancient eyes. You weren't being rebellious. You were being cautious. Exactly, President Garcia confirmed. We found something too powerful for anyone to control, even us. 1 week later, the leaders of Earth and the Empire gathered on the neutral ground of the International Space Station, which orbited just inside the Guardian's barrier. Emperor Dorn, now fully aware of what Earth had discovered, signed the document before him with solemn dignity. The Sol Independence Treaty, announced Ambassador Wong. By this agreement, the Galactic Empire recognizes the complete sovereignty of the Sol system and pledges never to attempt entry without explicit permission from Earth's government. Anna signed next, followed by President Garcia. In exchange, Wong continued, Earth agrees to establish a special diplomatic and scientific commission. This commission will carefully study the precursor technology and share safe advancements with the Empire when appropriate. Dorn stood, addressing the gathered leaders. For 300 years, my empire has ruled the known galaxy. Today, we acknowledge that there are things in this universe greater than our understanding. He turned to Anna. You could have used this power against us. Instead, you chose caution. Anna nodded. The precursors were advanced beyond our comprehension, yet they vanished. We don't know why, but we suspect they may have destroyed themselves with their own power. A lesson for us all, Dorn agreed. The Guardian barrier parted briefly, allowing the Imperial ships to depart. As the Conqueror passed through the opening, Emperor Dorn watched the blue-green planet recede. What will you tell the Empire? Admiral Krell asked quietly. The truth, Dorn replied. That Earth is the keeper of ancient knowledge, that they are to be respected and feared. 5 years later, Anna Reed stood on the observation deck of the new precursor research station orbiting Jupiter. Below her, scientists from Earth and a select few from the Empire worked together, carefully unlocking the secrets of the network. A young assistant approached her. Director Reed, we've successfully stabilized a small doorway. It leads to Alpha Centauri. Anna smiled. The first step. Beyond the windows, the Guardian barrier shimmered, protecting the solar system from those who might abuse its secrets. Earth had become a neutral zone in galactic politics, neither part of the Empire nor its enemy. And throughout the galaxy, humans became known by a new name, the Guardians. Keepers of the oldest secrets in the universe, protectors of knowledge too dangerous to use, but too valuable to destroy. The Empire continued to rule its 1,000 worlds. But now, they ruled with the knowledge that some powers are best left protected rather than possessed. Earth had banned an empire, and in doing so, perhaps saved the galaxy itself.